Hi, folks. All right, so today I start my challenge. I've been a bit late. So, the first language we'll try to learn is Rust. All right, I have no experience whatsoever with Rust as of right now, but let's get that experience. Okay, so we type Rust in Google, and here we go. We find Rust's main page. All right, what does it say? Rust. It's a language empowering everyone to build a reliable and efficient software. So reliability is important because this much I do know that there are some problems in C and C++ languages which are typically used for systems level work in addition to other work. But the problem emanates out of the fact that if memory management is not done well, then you can have things like memory leaks, dangling pointers, and crashes, and um, out of bound indices, and such things, right? So one of the design goals from of Rust, I believe, has been to come up with a language that does things, system level things like C and C++, but which systematically is more reliable and robust uh, by avoiding these kinds of bugs, right? All right, so let's say what does this guy says. Why Rust? Performance, reliability, and productivity. Performance, of course, Rust is blazingly fast, all right, good marketing, and memory efficient. So what does memory efficient means? Well, memory efficient basically means that whatever is the task at hand, you try to do it well using as little memory as possible, right? That's memory efficiency. With no runtime or garbage collector. Interesting. Okay, it does not have garbage collector. So garbage collector, for those of you that do not know, is the phenomena by which the language runtime itself keeps a note of the memory to which nothing is pointing anymore, and it releases that memory automatically and frees the programmer from keeping track of it. Java, for example, is a garbage collected language. All right. So what does this mean when it says with no runtime? That's not possible. Every language has a runtime. Let's see. It can be power performance. It can power performance critical services, run on embedded devices, and easily integrate with other languages. So this is important. It can easily integrate with other languages. It must have some primitives, some mechanisms for being able to integrate well with other languages. That could be, let's say, things like purely message passing interface, or something like, compliance with some kind of an application binary interface, some kind of an intermediary language or something. Let's see how they have done this. All right, so next is reliability. So Rust has a Rust's rich type system and ownership model guarantee. So rich type system means that it is a strongly typed language and it has many types. So for reliability, that is necessary. You need to know what is the type of each uh, data abstraction that you are dealing with. So there are no surprises and things can be caught and corrected as early as possible, ideally in compile time. Ownership model, excuse me, ownership model guarantee is there. What does that mean? That it should be clear that what part of the code owns what part of a memory that it has access to. And ownership has different dimensions as well. Who has created it, who can destroy it, who should destroy it, who has access to it, etc., etc. All right, so memory safety and thread safety. So thread safety is the fact that if your program has some memory which is shared between its many threads, so you need to ensure that the integrity of that area in memory is maintained. uh, that is basically, in a sense, what thread safety in terms of um, data structures or data types or in memory mean, right? All right, enabling you to eliminate many classes of bugs at compile time. This is the key. As early as possible. And that is compilation time. All right, the third feature it says is productivity. Rust has great documentation, a friendly compiler with useful error messages, and top-notch tooling. These indeed are productivity enhancers, and we'll see whether they really do have these or not. I believe they must be having these great things, but we'll explore them. An integrated package manager and build tool. All right, so these days languages have come up with the notions of package managers, node script, javascript on the server side. um, Certainly, I think certainly was the first popular language to come up with the package manager. It has npm node package manager. All right, build tool. Many languages do have build tools. Smart multi-editor support with auto completion and type inspections. Yeah, this is IDE tool specific thing. So, and auto formatter and more. So these are things on the IDE side of the spectrum. All of this. So they even exist for pretty much every language, right? So because that is a feature of IDE, not the language itself. All right. So let's see what does it say next. Build it in Rust. In 2018, the Rust community decided to improve programming experience for a few distinct domains. All right, so for these, you can find many high quality crates. From what I remember, crates are libraries or something. We'll see what they are. All right, so these are the domains that they have apparently excelled in and have predefined pathways to reaching excellence in each of these domains. Right, coming up with command line tools using it apparently has a WebAssembly uh, apps ecosystem as well. We'll see network applications, embedded systems applications. All right. So I think these links would provide more details on it. We'll explore them later. This is a broad term. The very first, feeler that we are getting. So we'll dive deeper dive deeper when we come up with a need. All right. So Rust in production, is it really used anywhere, or is it just a fancy thing? Okay, hundreds of companies around the world are using Rust in production today for fast, low resource, cross-platform solutions. So these are indeed fast, low resource, and cross-platform are good abilities. Everyone needs them. Software you know and love, like Firefox, Dropbox, Cloudflare, uses Rust. From startups to large corporations, from embedded devices to scalable web services, Rust is a great fit. Great, no wonder it's being used so much. All right, they have some testimonials. Okay, so we go back up. We want to start learning it. How do we do that? Okay, let's see. There is a learn side. Let's see this. Learn. Okay, let's take a very broad term overview of what is available over here. Let's see what does this guy say. All right, learn Rust. Get started with Rust. There are three things. Okay, there is a book affectionately nicknamed The Book. The Rust programming language will give you an overview of the language from first principles. So I like first principles as in bottom up approach. You'll build a few projects along the way, and by the end you'll have a solid grasp of the language. So I seem to like this approach, but let's see what is the alternate that's available. Alternatively, Rustlinks guides you through downloading and setting up the Rust toolchain and teaches you the basics of reading and writing Rust syntax. And it's an alternative to Rust, for example. So this is some course, no. I'd rather do it myself. Okay, what is this? If reading multiple hundreds of pages about a language isn't your style, yeah, at this stage of career, yeah, it's not really my style, even though I like a bottoms up approach, but I like to improvise. Okay, so then Rust, by example, has you covered. While the book, okay, this is the book. Okay, so while the book talks about code with a lot of words, RBE, what is RBE? Rust, by example, RBE shows off a bunch of code and keeps the talking to a minimum. It also includes exercises. this seems good. So maybe I'll use some combination of this, the book, and this guy. I think I'll probably use this approach more, and when needed, we'll consult this as well. We'll do a mix and match, and we'll improvise. Let's see. So let's see what else is here. Grow with Rust. Read the core documentation. All of this documentation is also available locally using this command, which will open up these resources for you in your browser without requiring a network connection. Okay, so this is the official documentation. No, I mean we'll see it. Um, we'll consult it if and when we find the need to. It's good to know that they have it well documented, but that's not how we'll start, right? Let's see what else is there. Build your skills in an application domain, command line book, WebAssembly, embedded. All right, so these are domain specific. No, at this, we are at the very initial stages of learning. We don't need this. What else is there? Okay, master Rust. Curious about the darkest corners of the language. Oh my God. Here's where you can get into the nitty gritty. The reference is not a formal spec, but it's more detailed and comprehensive than the book. I think by the reference, he means they mean this core documentation, right? So no, at this moment, we don't want that. All right, what's this? The Rustonomicon is your guidebook to the dark arts of unsafe Rust. Yeah, well, not right now. The Unstable book has documentation for unstable features that you can only use with nightly Rust. That is not with the formally released builds of Rust. So no, not that either. What's down here? No. All right, so it's pretty clear. We'll use this and we'll use this. How exactly, in what combination, we'll see and improvise. All right, that was the learn part, tools, blah, blah, blah. We don't need this. Let's install it. All right. So I'm on Windows 10, Windows platform, and let's see. It looks like you're running Windows. He has detected it. To start using Rust, download the installer, then run the program and follow the on-screen instruction. You may need to install Visual Studio C++ build tools. If you're not on Windows, see other blah, 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 blah. Okay. Windows subsystem for Linux. If you are a Windows subsystem for Linux user, run the following in your terminal, then follow the on-screen instructions to install Rust. So what is it doing? It is using a curl command and getting it from this URL and piping it out to the shell. Okay, so now let's install it using Windows. My Windows is 64-bit, so I'll download this. And let's see what else does it say. If you're just getting started, if you're just getting started with Rust and would like a more detailed walkthrough, see getting started page. Toolchain management with Rust Up. Rust is installed and managed by Rust Up tool. This is the guy I think we're just installing. Rust has a 6-week rapid release process and supports a great number of platforms. So there are many builds of Rust available. Rust Up manages these builds in a consistent way on every platform. That's good. That just Rust supports, enabling installation of Rust from the beta and nightly release channels, as well as support for additional cross-compilation targets. So this Rust Up thing seems good. If you've installed Rust Up in the past, you can update your installation by running this. No, we have not. Configuring the path variable and uninstalling. So in the Rust development environment, all tools are installed in this directory, and this is where you will find the Rust tool chain, including Rust C. This would be Rust compiler, I guess, Cargo, and Rust Up. Okay. Accordingly, it is customary for Rust developers to include this directory in the path environment variable. During installation, Rust Up will attempt to configure the path. I think it will do that by itself. We'll check nevertheless. Because of differences between platforms, command shells, and bugs in Rust Up, the modifications to path may not take effect until the console is restarted or the user is logged out, or it may not succeed at all. Okay, we'll check that. If after installation, running Rust C version in the console fails, this is the most likely reason. All right, so let's go ahead and install. So this is Rust Up, and what is he saying? Wait. All right, Rust, Visual C++ prerequisites. Rust requires Microsoft C++ build tools for Visual C. This is where they don't seem to be installed. The easiest way is to acquire by installing Microsoft C++ Build Tools 2019, which provides just the Visual C++ build tools. Please ensure the Windows 10 SDK and English language pack components are included when installing the Visual C++ build tools. Alternatively, you can install Visual Studio 2019, 17, 15, or 13, and during install, select this. Uh, but that would require a license, right? Let me think. Uh, let's see. If you will be targeting the GNU ABI application binary interface, or otherwise you know what you're doing, then it is fine to continue installation without the build tools. But otherwise, install the C++ build tools before proceeding. Okay, so looks like we should install it. All right, so let's see. What is it saying? Microsoft C++ build tools. Let me copy this, go to Google and search for this. So download Visual Studio to the let me add Visual Studio in the search string. Download Visual Studio 2019. Mm, how to install Visual C++ build tools. If you have Visual Studio open, blah blah blah. Hmm. Okay, how to let's see this. What does this guy say in Stack Overflow? Accept the cookies. I need to install this. When I download, install it, try to install it. However, it's telling me I need to uninstall VS 2015. How can I solve it? Why is it telling me blah blah? Let's see what does it say. You can check announcing the official release of this. You know that the build tools are the same so you get when they come in scriptable standard installer. The build tools give you a way to install the tools you need on your build machines without the IDE you don't have. Because these components use the same as the ones installed by this. You cannot install this. Okay. Okay. What does this guy says? So what do these guys say? We need to install Windows 10 SDK in addition. C++ build tools are offered as an optional installer inside Visual Studio Community 2019. So this is what we need to install. Visual Studio. Let us search for Visual Studio Community 2019. So just a note for the self that it would have been much better if the Rust guys would have got this installation as part of their own installation, right? It should not have been a big deal. They could have gotten permission from Microsoft, on, let's say, powerful ID, free, blah blah blah. Visual Studio, help me choose. I want to blah blah blah. Uh, yeah, well, screw it. Other tools, frameworks, and redistributables. Maybe they have it somewhere over here. Microsoft Visual C++ redistributable. This package installs runtime components of Visual C++ libraries and can be used to run such applications on computer even if it is not. This seems like the thing we can. This seems precisely the kind of thing we want. Okay, so let's download it. All right. Okay. So let's see. Let that guy install, and meanwhile we should not continue over here and install this first. So we'll see redistributable. Let's install it. With Microsoft Visual C++, blah blah, redistributable, Microsoft this systems. Yeah, we agree. Install. Yes. So let's wait for this guy to finish installation and then we'll see. So you must restart your computer before you can use the software. All right. What do we do? Okay, we'll end this video here and resume after the restart. Okay. Yeah, hi folks. So I'm back after the installation of necessary Microsoft components. And the correct way to do those was to install it using the Visual Studio installer, and specifically the components that are required. I'll show them here. So, this is desktop development with C++. And in this, what you need to install is the latest Microsoft Visual C to C++ build tools, right? This is the version 142, and you also have to install the latest Windows 10 SDK. This is the version. I just installed the just-in-time debugger as well, but what you need is these two things, right? These two. And in addition to this, I came to know that there is also a PowerShell script that is used to do the same thing. So I'll mention uh, the URL to that PowerShell script as well and on Windows. So if you see, after installing these components, when I proceed with the installation again, this is the Rust up init program that is used to install Rust. So you do the select option 1, proceed with installation, and it just goes ahead quite fine, right? All right. So after this, we have our environment ready, and if we go to the uh, Rust projects folder, we go to Hello World. This Hello World, by the way, was uh, downloaded from GitHub, I guess, by the SPT utility with the Rust package by itself, right? So, or was it something else? I guess I'm not sure, but anyway, I don't know how we made this, but we did, and as you can see, the executable is made. The debug symbols are also present since this is the debug build that we did. So just to do it again, we can delete the executable as well as the symbols, and all we have is the Rust code, which is pretty simple. As you can see, it only has a hello world. So I use a Rust C with the Rust compiler and give it this source file name as the parameter, and as you can see, the main, it has executed it. So here we go, we have our hello world program which is ready. So with this, we come to an end of uh, the first coming up with the hello world program. However, I would like to see if I can uh, find that script again. Okay, where did it go? I have forgotten where I saw that. Uh, Anyways, I'll find it out, and I'll put it on as in the comments of this video, right? So with that, we end this. Thanks. Bye.